Panic attacks are miserable. So, in this video, I'm going to teach you a powerful technique to stop panic attacks in just 1 minute. Stay tuned. Welcome to Wellness with John. I'm John Peters, and these are resources to help you thrive. So, panic attacks are miserable. If you've had a panic attack, you know what I'm talking about. And this video is going to teach you a technique that is very powerful. I have taught this to many patients. I've used it with people directly when I've worked inpatient, and it really does help people to stop panic attacks. Now, there are many, many different techniques that actually are effective for stopping panic attacks. This video is not going to be a comprehensive survey of all of those types of things. One of the things that you do need to be doing if you're having panic attacks is addressing this at a deeper level in terms of reducing stimulants like nicotine and caffeine and other stimulants, and engaging in appropriate wellness programs, perhaps seeing a therapist to deal with particular stressors in your life so that you cope with them effectively and they don't load up on you as much, and other types of things. So if you want a comprehensive plan, you should definitely talk with a competent therapist to talk about how you can lower your overall stress load, because panic attacks tend to be potentiated by a baseline elevated stress level, okay? And I address that type of thing in other videos on this channel. So if you're interested in tips about how to approach stress management, I'll put the stress management playlist at the end of this video so you can check out those videos as you might want. But in this video, I want to talk about a particular technique that has a few different components that you do together when you're having an acute anxiety episode or a panic attack, and it can help you reverse that. So it can help you stop that, because panic attacks don't go on forever, but they go on much longer than you want. And they're extremely miserable while they're happening, even if they only last for seconds, right? So we want to have tools in our toolbox to be able to lower the panic attack. So here's how this technique works. Step one, you realize you're having a panic attack, and what you do is you take your hands and you put them in your midsection at your solar plexus. So basically the base of your sternum, and you're just going to place one hand over the other and press firmly. You don't want to get too aggressive. You're not trying to perform CPR on yourself or anything like that, but you just want to press firmly at your solar plexus so that your mental awareness can now be somewhat aware of your hands and also aware of that sensation of the pressure that you're putting on that spot with your hands. Okay, so place your hands there, and you're going to keep that, and then you're going to pay attention to what it feels like to have your hands pressing on that particular spot. All right. Step two is you're going to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And for 3 breath cycles, what you're going to do is you're going to breathe quickly in through your nose, but you're going to breathe out through your mouth as long as is comfortable, right? Now, again, don't get too aggressive or heroic with the out breath, because then you'll feel like you're hyperventilating or suffocating, because your O2, CO2 level is going to change too quickly. But basically, and then 2, and breath number 3. After the 3rd breath, you're going to allow your breath to be normal, and you're going to continue to pay attention to the sensation of the pressure that you're adding at your solar plexus, okay? So you're breathing normally now. You're paying attention to your feelings in your hands and your abdomen there where you're pressing, okay? And the final element is you're going to think about something that happened recently, either earlier in the day or in the last 24 hours. And I want you to think of something that is neutral in tone. So something that's not particularly pleasurable or not particularly distressing, right? And what I want you to do is, if you're alone, you can talk out loud. If you're around people and you don't want them to think you're crazy, you can do this inside your head. But if, let's say you're alone, what I want you to do is just talk through the elements of the thing you did sometime recently, and you're just going to say the elements. So you want to be neutral in tone, and you want to be talking about something in the recent past. So I could say, okay, so I took a break for lunch, and I went from my office to my kitchen, and I made myself a sandwich, and then I sat down and I ate my sandwich. All right. So you notice that the thing that I'm describing is neutral in tone, because most people don't get wildly pleasured or distressed by making a sandwich, right? So I didn't pick something like, oh, I got into a fight with my roommate, or I took a lovely walk in the park and it was sweet, you know? So I'm not looking for something that's either miserable or pleasurable. What I want to do is I want to talk about something that's neutral in tone, that a reasonable person wouldn't get that excited about, either positively or negatively, and something that's in the recent past. And I don't have to get into too rich a story about it. What I want to do is just talk through the elements of some event that happened, some actions that I took. Okay. So the whole technique is put your hands on your solar plexus, press gently there but firmly, and breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Quick in breath, long out breath. All right. Do 3 of those breath cycles, then breathe naturally. Then, either in your head or out loud, you're going to talk through briefly some elements of a recent experience that is neutral in tone but in the past. All right. And here's why this technique works, okay? Number one, when you press on that particular spot on your belly, you're helping to activate the vagus nerve in a way that reverses the stress response. So we've got this nerve that starts up high. It's actually a cranial nerve that starts up in our neck, goes down through our chest, passes through the place where your stomach empties into your small intestine, and goes down into your gut, okay? That nerve helps to mediate the stress response. And there are different ways to stimulate the vagus nerve in order to either be more activated or to be more calm. And when we press on that particular spot, that's one way to be more calm, okay? Another way that you might have heard of is sometimes people hum. So the lowest tone that's comfortable, that will stimulate the vagus nerve in the same way. So we put the pressure with our hands there on our solar plexus, and then we breathe in through our nose and out through our mouth. And when we take a long out breath, we actually calm our stress system as well, because every time we breathe in, we slightly potentiate the stress response. Every time we breathe out, we actually activate the reversal of the stress response. And that happens no matter what you're focusing on, even if you're not experiencing a stressful situation. Okay. All day, every day, we're breathing, and every in breath slightly increases our stress activation. Every out breath decreases our stress activation. So we can hack that by breathing in a shorter time than we breathe out. That's why we do the quick in breath and the long out breath. Okay. And the reason I have you only do 3 of those is that if you keep doing that over and over and over, you're going to change your oxygen CO2 level a little too quickly. And that's actually going to potentially stimulate the stress response in your brain, right? So you can do 3 cycles of that. After you breathe normally for a few breath cycles, you can do 3 more of the quick in breath, long out breath if you want. But in between each set of 3, you want to breathe normally until you feel like you kind of reset in terms of that internal oxygen level sensor that our brain has. Because if you do it over and over and over and over and over and keep doing that too aggressively, you will start to feel a little weird, and that will make you even more stressed. So you don't want to do that. So the long out breath helps to calm us, okay? And then the final element in terms of why this works is that when we think of something neutral in tone and in the past, we're changing the mode of our brain. So our brain, when we're having a panic attack, starts to focus on miserable elements of what we're experiencing or what we're worried about. And it also tends to be something that's currently really stressful or something we're worried about that's going to happen in the future, okay? Panic attacks don't tend to be associated with mental activity that is neutral in tone and focused on the past. So we're intentionally going to put our brain into neutral, past-oriented mode when we intentionally think of a recent past event that is neutral in tone, and then we literally talk through the elements of the sequence of things that we experienced or did in that event. So I went from my office to my kitchen. I got out the ingredients to make a sandwich. I made a sandwich. I sat down. I ate my sandwich, right? It may sound too simple for it to be true that it actually works, but it really does work that way. And I've done this with many patients. It's one of the most reliable things to stop a panic attack. And this is a tool that you can keep in your toolbox for when you are spiking up to code red with your stress level, and it helps to reverse that. This is not a tool that tends to help with the baseline anxiety level, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, which is something that you do need to address. All of us need to address that. And there are other techniques that are effective for that, right? So if you want to see a video about how to practice mindful breathing, which does lower your baseline stress level, I'll put a link up here at the top of this video. If you want to get a more comprehensive course that has a lot of guidance about how to learn very easy to practice techniques that quickly start to lower your baseline stress level and increase your coping, I have a stress reduction mastery course, and I will put a link in the description if you want to go check out more information about that course. The good news about that is it's a bunch of techniques that are absolutely reliable, and I've taught them to thousands of people, and I'm so confident that they work that if you take the course and they don't work for you within a few days, I'll just give you your money back. So it's 100% guaranteed. So check out the information with the link below. And if you'd like this kind of video content, please hit the like button. And if you have yet to subscribe to my channel, please subscribe and stay tuned for more videos. And check the playlist that's going to pop up here at the end of the video for more videos on stress management techniques. Thanks for joining me today.